Hello, we are Moot Bet Din team. We are from Mexico and we are gonna introduce the case. Well, to start, the case informs that 3 years ago, a group of students began to discuss what they could do to eradicate and prevent the climate change, that it's a global issue. This group was called the SSC. Well, the goal of the SSC was to expand nationally, but the problem was the economic issue. Since they were short of funds, they needed money to grow because they needed to rent spaces, grab sponsors, etc., many things. Well, then all this changed when Mr. Akiva Elman, that was a well-known businessman, offered to donate everything they needed to expand nationally. But after investigating a little bit about him, they realized he made a lot of his money making transactions in the stock market. But the problem is that a report says that his company, Defensive Holdings, has reduced costs through the loosey treatment of its workers. That it means terrible conditions and do not get the necessary care, etc. Mr. Elman does not seem to be against these accusations, and that's a real problem. This led to the students to discuss about this situation. There were different opinions in which human morality came in, but also the importance of receiving the money to make a big change and let the project continue growing. But as they didn't decide, the SEC decided to go to Moot Bet Din to reach the best conclusion they can.
This case is related to morality and Torah, and there are several situations that we must take into account. We need to start by considering that the Torah is very opposed to promoting values that are contrary to itself. And in the case of Agrippa HaMelech, which praised him, Agrippa is a melech without him deserving it. In Sefer HaChinuch, Mitzvah 429, in Judaism, idolatry is a very grave sin. We should stay away from getting any benefits from it. According to the Chinuch, this applies not only to idolatry, but also to cleaning his money, that God has graced him with justly other money that it from thief, extortion, interest, or an ugly thing too. Rambam on Hilkot Gezelia 5:1 states that it is forbidden to buy anything stolen from a thief.
Also, in Proverbs 29:24 states that the partner of a thief is his enemy. What we can learn from this is how when you help a thief by doing something such as buying his stolen merchandise, what you are doing is also harming them.
Okay, Teshuvah. In Judaism, there is a concept called Teshuvah. Teshuvah in the economic issue could have many factors. In this case, it applies to when someone earns money in a dishonest way. So, to make Teshuvah, it is done through services to others. This because returning the money to all the people you stole it from is close to impossible. So, giving it to social services is a way to return to them. As it says in Responsa Lagerot Moshe Mishpat 188, Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, however, as Mr. Elman does not regret, as he said when he appeared in the front of a page article stating that he is proud and feels that he is doing good. So this makes Teshuvah doesn't apply in this case. We also consider that this may be one of the only chances for this group to grow. The only problem is that is the source from where Mr. Elman got his money. Still, as it is stated, the money he got by this mistreatment is only a small portion of his money. As the Talmud Bava Kama 119a states, it is permitted to accept his payment only when a majority of his items belong to him or when just some of his money belongs to him. This is a reliable source since Mr. Elman's dirty money is only a minority from all his profits, which in this source gives us the advantage to accept his payment.
Rashi on Bava Kama 119a, he states that when the majority of it belongs to him, he is free of debt. Talmud Bavli Berakot 47b relates us the story of Rabbi Eliezer, who entered a synagogue and didn't find a quorum of 10, so he proceeded to liberate his slave, which completed the majority. Rabbi Eliezer explains that anyone who frees his slave violates a positive mitzvah. Still, at the same time, you can do it for the benefit of other people, and it is stated that then it will serve as bondsmen forever. To conclude, this is a unique opportunity that will generate an essential mitzvah. Besides, there will probably not be another opportunity like this one. They should accept the money. This decision is made by taking into account that the halacha says, as in the case of the freed slave, too many million, or that we are using this money to make an important mitzvah, also here adding that fact that most of its assets do not have problems. Only a minority of these profits are dirty. We conclude that but it should be noted that throughout the halacha we see that you can accept the money, but if there is another way to get it, would be the most advisable, seeing that they cannot in this case. We conclude that they can accept Mr. Elman's money.
Well, thank you. Hope this helps the SSC people. So we made this decision by taking into account all of the things we stated, and the correct thing was this one. Well, thank you from Mexico, and it was a presentation made by Chacham Isaac Jaime Sayat, Nesim Ugrabi, Elias Dichi, and Moy Laniado. Thank you.